Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to get a very warm and faded look in your car photography. So what you have to do is open up Lightroom, get the photo in, and then go to crop tool, hit the aspect ratio and go to 4:5 aspect ratio and hit done. This is the best ratio for Instagram. And now what you have to do is go to basic panel, increase the temperature to add a bit of warmth to the photo, then increase the exposure just a bit to brighten up the photo. Then decrease the highlights all the way and increase the shadows to whatever you need. This just adds that extra level of something. It brings back some of that detail in the photo that you otherwise wouldn't see. Now to counteract that, we're going to decrease the blacks just a little bit, then decrease the vibrance to make the photo more cinematic and take out some of the color. Then we're going to add clarity in the photo, and adding clarity just adds that bit of drama to the entire photo, and such as the bricks, the building in the background. It just makes it a bit more dramatic and looks very nice in the photo. And then go to tone curve, and this is where the magic happens. Hit the tone curve on 3 different points, and right after that you can go to the bottom section and bring the bottom up. It just adds that faded look to the photo. Then to counteract that, we're going to bring the bottom point down and make it darker. So it just, works against the faded look by crushing the blacks, and it looks more cinematic. Now go to saturation, and we're going to selectively add saturation back in or not to certain colors since we took it out with the vibrance tool. So right now what you have to do is add saturation back into some of the oranges, the reds in the background, things like that. But we want to take out blues from the entire image because it's a warm image. So decrease the saturation for the blues and aquas all the way. And as you can see, it takes out most of the blues from the ground in front of the car. And then we're going to add saturation back into the car by doing saturation to the oranges and the yellows. Then we're going to increase the saturation for the purple and magentas. So it just adds saturation back in for the brick wall, the brick building in the background. And then we're going to increase the saturation for the reds as well. So it just adds saturation for the entire brick wall in the back. But as you can see, the car is a bit too orange. So to fix that problem, we're going to push the oranges to the yellow side and then make the greens all the way to the right side so it looks a very saturated green. Then push the purple and magenta to the red side, and then go to luminance and decrease the greens to make it a dark green. And we're pretty much done. But as you can see, the car looks disgusting. The color is not real. It was a bright yellow car, but right now it looks pretty, disgustingly yellow. So we're going to calibration and decrease the blues to right about -50. So it adds a lot of color back into the image, and especially the car, and makes it more real because that's the real color of the car. And the brick wall in the back, in the brick building, it looks more real as well because in person it looks much more vibrant than what it is in this photo. Next, we're going to go to color grading and click shadows and add 200 to the hue and right about 20 to the saturation. So what it does is it adds a little bit of blue hue to the shadows of the entire image because we're going to add more warmth back into the photo. So this just counteracts that a bit more. Then exit out of that and go to detail and add a lot of sharpening, like 70 to the entire image. Then hold Alt or Command on Mac and then drag the masking slider until you only have the car selected and some of the sharp edges on the background, so you don't sharpen everything and add a lot of unnecessary noise. Then check the boxes for lens correction because a lot of lenses have some weird effects on the photo, such as this lens, the 24mm, adds a lot of vignetting, so it counteracts that as well. And we're right about done. Now go to graduated filter, which is the box right there, and drag from the corner of the image down and select a portion. And then increase the exposure and add a bit of warmth, like temperature, in the filter. And then drag and adjust as you need. And hit done when you're done. So it add just a bit of motivated light to the image, because there was a sun in the photo, but when I was there and taking the photo, it didn't actually show in the picture. So it simulates that sun effect, that the sun is just peeking through in the photo, and makes it just a bit better. But as you can see, after doing that, the car lacks focus. The car looks pretty bland. So to fix that problem, we're going to the radial filter, which is a circle right next to the graduated filter. In the same way, we're going to select on the car, but this time it's going to be an oval. And then we're going to increase the exposure and add a bit of contrast, so it draws your eyes to the car. But right now things are a bit too bright at the moment. With the graduated filter and all that, it looks very bright. So we'll fix that problem by drawing another radial filter, but this time we're going to uncheck the invert box. So make that filter and go scroll down and uncheck the invert box, so it selects everything else but the car. And then we're going to decrease exposure to add a bit of vignetting. Not much, just a little bit, very subtle, and adds a lot of drama to the entire picture. So that's just a massive difference right after that. But as you can see, the wheels are lacking a lot of focus and attention. So we're going to do the same thing. Radial filter, select on the wheels, and increase the exposure to brighten up the wheels, and add a bit of contrast. Do the same for the rear wheel. That's the thing about black wheels. Sometimes it looks very dull in photos. Silver wheels and other type of bright colored wheels, they look very good, but black wheels or any kind of matte finish just looks a bit too dark on photos. But the ground in front of the car is very bland and boring. So to fix that problem, we're going to the graduated filter again, drag from the bottom up, and then we're going to decrease the exposure quite a bit, and it darkens up the ground in front of the car and draws your eyes to the car itself, and it makes a photo look much professional than what it is. So that's just such a big difference right there. What a big difference. And you can do this with very simple techniques. Thank you guys so much for watching, and leave a like, comment down below what do you think, and subscribe if you like this video, and thank you so much.